Satyacharanam Lobahata Sadhatami Krishna Satyacharanam Lobahata Sadhatami Yehena Durjana Sajana Varjita Aparadi Nirantara Yehena Durjana Sajana Varjita Aparadi Nirantara Subhakarya Shunya Sadhanatmana Nana Dukhe Jara Jara Shubhakarya Shunya Sadhanatmana Nana Dukhe Badakya Ekona Upaya Vidina Kate Dina Akinchana Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Racharane Koro Dukha Nivedana Bhakti Vinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's very amazing bhajan. So somebody may think that our Krishna consciousness process is all about Shravanam Kirtanam. It's all about remembering the Lord, chanting His names, and things like that. So this seems to be quite a negative bhajan. Right? So we'll read the meaning of this. Hmm. The first, like devotees can read one by one. First, I will read. My life is always engaged in sinful activities without a trace of pious activities. I am always inclined to give great anxiety and trouble to other living entities. Next.
For my personal sense gratification, I never reject any kind of sensible activity. I am not at all merciful.
Hmm? That's okay. Then I'll only read. No, that's okay. That's okay. It can be in different apps, different can. Essence will be the same. So maybe like if I read, no, the system can cover nicely. For my personal sense gratification, I never reject any kind of sinful activity. I am not at all merciful, and I see only to my personal interest. When others are suffering, I become very happy, always speaking lies, and if someone is suffering, that is very pleasant to me. I have lots of material desires within my heart, and I'm always angry and deceitful. I'm captivated by the subject matters of sense gratification, and I'm almost crazy. My ornaments are malice and false pride. I am conquered by and laziness, and I'm always averse to pious activities, but I'm very enthusiastic to perform impious activities. I always cheat others for my prestige. I am conquered by greed, and I am always lusty. I am so fallen, I have no association with devotees, and I am always an offender. In my life, there is not a bit of auspicious activity, and my mind is always attracted by something mischievous. Therefore, at the fag end of my life, I have become almost an invalid because of all such sufferings. Now, in my old age, with no alternative, I have by force become very humble and meek. Thus, Bhaktivinoda offers a sad statement of his life's activities at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Right? So here we see that no, this is not the actual no scene. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a great acharya, so but he is mentioning himself like this. So let's offer the Mangalacharan and then begin our session today. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we will see the relevance of this bhajan, in the course of our discussion today. So today's topic, what is today's topic? Accepting people with their along with their mistakes. So why this is so important? Because in Kali Yuga everybody is loaded with mistakes, and if people are not accepted along with their mistakes, then we cannot accept anybody. So, and it takes how much time it takes to purify or clear all the mistakes of a person? Huh? Lifetimes, lifetime or lifetimes. No, it takes a lot of time. So then, no, we need to know this particular art of how to actually accept people along with their mistakes. So otherwise, it is quite difficult, to have any meaningful relationships in our life, right? So now, specifically, so why are we here? No, what are we here, to do as a leader? So what are we expected to do? What is our job description? So any inputs? What a leader is supposed to do to guide the people, huh? Build relationship with people, then huh? To serve the people, then give compassion to people, bring them closer to Krishna. So generally, now we see many other aspects also to get things done in a perfect way, So and then to maintain things in proper order and things like that. And also we have the other aspect of which you all nicely mentioned, which are the key aspects. So to help people to transform, to help people to come closer to Krishna. So we have two different things that are there. We have to managerially achieve certain things. When things are not managed properly, then things go haywire. So at the same time, like we also have to work on the internal aspect of development of Krishna consciousness. So now these two things are constantly competing. Like sometimes the practical execution of things becomes the prominent thing, and then sometimes the aspect of bringing people closer to Krishna becomes the prominent thing, right? So these two things, these two very two different important principles are there in the leadership. So now we will see the aspect of the leadership training. So what we are trying to give, it has multiple aspects. One is to train devotees in philosophical basis. Leaders should be like very nicely educated in Krishna consciousness, and they should have good understanding of Krishna consciousness. Then the cultural aspect. So what is the primary thing in the cultural aspect, which we often talk about? Vaishnava etiquette, right? So the cultural aspect, how a devotee should be and how he should behave and things like that. And then the other aspects of leadership, such as management and efficiency and stuffs like that and all. So these things are there. So philosophical, so we spend a lot of time in Bhakti Viksha also, we spend time in many different classes, we spend time. So now today what we are going to discuss is in which category? Huh? Cultural, yeah. So it's in the category of cultural. So a lot of things that we require. So why, if I just understand Krishna consciousness nicely philosophically, and then I'm doing my services, so what is the need of taking on the culture of Krishna consciousness? No, if I don't take, what will be the impact? And if I take, what will be the impact? Avoid offenses. Yeah, that's a very important thing. So culture essentially means that everything that exists is part and parcel of Krishna. And how do I deal with various parts and parcels of Krishna? Right? So that is essentially the culture. And the opposite of that is offenses. Right? So now when we try to go closer to Krishna, Krishna is not some person like, no, okay, I can do anything and everything with his parts and parcels, and I can get closer to Krishna and be with him. It is not possible. So Krishna as a person, like if we want to approach him, we have to approach him, as a whole. So in this connection, we also sometimes have the discussion of who is Krishna. So Krishna is not just the deity present in the altar, or one personality or something like that. So Krishna is Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma. So everything that exists put together is Krishna, right? So like now somebody says like, I care for you. So and then suddenly he comes and cuts my hair in a very haphazard way. And I'm like, no, you told you care for me. No, and then what have you done with my head? So no, I care for you, but I don't care for your hair. No. So it doesn't, the statement doesn't go well, right? So in the same way, like if we say like, I care for Krishna, I love Krishna, but I don't care for his creation. No, creation is as good as like the hair is there in our body, the creation is there for Krishna, right? So everything that exists is parts and parcels of Krishna. And Krishna can be, if somebody is Krishna conscious, so then he has to care for every aspect of Krishna. So that is the culture aspect. So how do I deal with the devotees? How do I deal with non-devotees? How do I deal with the material nature? How do I deal with the spiritual nature? How do I deal with various aspects of Krishna's manifestations? So how do I deal with all these things? That comprises the culture, and that actually falls into this one of the Vaishnava etiquette. So and like in one discussion I was hearing, this culture, how long it takes to set up a culture? No, any idea like how long it takes to set up a culture? Never ending. To some meaningful, like some acceptable level of culture. 3 to 4 generations. No, Prabhu was there with me. No, yes, we were discussing this particular point. So sometimes it takes 200-300 years. No, any like the Varnashram. I was hearing to a lecture on Varnashram. So two very veteran preachers were discussing this particular point, and they were mentioning that if we need to set up a culture, culture means what? Like imagine a village is there, so everybody knows ingrained like what has to be done, how things have to be how we have to behave in a particular situation. When it will come after 200-300 years of setting up something. How old ISKCON is? 50 years. What culture we can expect? It's obvious that no, it is quite difficult for us to expect the Vaishnava etiquettes to be very natural and practiced very nicely. So we are in the formative stages. No, we are in the infant stage. No, though we may be grown up, but no, as an organization, we are in infant stage. No, we are in a very small baby stage. So there will be so many problems that will actually come up. No, and when there is no proper culture, no proper Vaishnava etiquette is set it up, so then obviously there will be a lot of problems. No, there will be a lot of exceptions, lot of problems will be there. And the fact of the situation is that we cannot expect the culture to happen in just 50 years time or some small period of time. It takes a lot of time for the culture to set in, and even we are right now, we are not in stabilization this one, we are in recruitment phase. We are still recruiting people inside. And then like after 2 3 years, no, we call like, no, who is this person? He's a leader. Oh, okay. Leader. So like yeah, so in the initial stages, like we get a lot of leadership positions and things like that. But then actually to become a nice leader, no, actually to become a nice devotee, it takes a lot. No, it takes many years, of efforts. And it takes sometimes, like if nice devotee to come up, one devotee was explaining, if for nice devotee to come up, like the parents have to be devotees, grandparents have to be devotees, and in that culture, if somebody is born and raised as devotee, then he'll become nice devotee. So then I was telling like, no, Prabhuji, we are trying to become nice. You keep trying. Only by mercy of Krishna you'll go back to Godhead. No, not by your qualification. It is impossible. So that was a very eye opener. So like the now right now we are born and we are raised in non-Krishna conscious environment, and then we are taken up to Krishna consciousness, and it takes a lot for us to uh, align with ourselves to Krishna consciousness. Still, devotees are very nice, like they are trying their best to advance in Krishna consciousness, but there is lot of what is that, obstacles that are coming. From where? So from our own personality, our own mind, our own system. So why this is there? Because the culture, the previous cultures, where we are raised. So that is not so much Krishna conscious in nature. So because of that, like we have got a subtle body, which is not in line with Krishna consciousness, and we are struggling. So, but still, this struggle is also worth. Still, with this struggle, also we can actually go back to Godhead. But then no, we may not be able to set up the culture. No, that is a problem. So once the culture is set up, so it will become like a pipeline. No, you just put anybody inside, they'll come out as devotees, right? So like that it will become. So for that it takes time, and we have to do our part. In the whole this one. So we have to do our part. We have to move the like baton. No, we have to move the this one to some extent. Then the next generation will take over, and they will also move further, right? So this cultural aspect, it's very important, and it requires a lot of discussion, and it requires a lot of contemplation about this particular subject. So that is when we will be able to put in some level of culture into our community, right? So then so like generally some of the misconceptions of the leadership is trying to control the situation all the time, and I have to make sure nothing goes wrong. That is one of the myths of leadership. So it is practically impossible to ensure that nothing goes wrong. So and then if I don't instruct, things will degrade, and I want them to do like things very perfectly as exactly I'm telling, right? So these kind of things are there. So like these kind of definitely to some extent these things are necessary, but this becomes the core principle. no so then what happens? Control becomes the core language in the community. So everybody is trying to control things, so then it doesn't work well actually. So then we see the example of great leaders. Who are the great leaders in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Parikshit Maharaj is a great leader. Then Prithu Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, they all led, Ambrish Maharaj also, they all led great this ones. Any other examples? Huh? Dhruva also went upon to become a very great leader. So there are many great leaders we can see in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if we see all of them, the traits of their this one leadership skill, what is the important leadership skill that is like highlighted in Srimad Bhagavatam about these personalities? Surrender to Krishna, humility. Then, huh? Taste to hear about the Lord. Yeah. Following the spiritual master. So from this we can see that is not much of this one about time management and workforce management or optimization of resources. We don't hear such things in their what is that this one. So definitely they would be doing all those things. So this is a secondary knowledge and it is very essential for the leadership. So but then the primary thing is that what are we like, okay, the leadership, like we are trying to take leadership. So what is the essential thing that we want to achieve? The essential thing that we want to achieve is like, what is our goal? Like overall goal here? Huh? Serve together. Or missionary goal, like what goal we have? Make Bangalore Krishna conscious city, right? So, like we are, like, it's like if we have to flood a particular product, throughout the city. So then, what should we have in first? We should have that product first. So one of the rule in book distribution is have the books. If you don't have the books, you cannot distribute. First principle in the book distribution is you should have the books, and then of course we should read the books also. So then we'll be able to propagate, distribute. So now here also, like Krishna consciousness, for it to be distributed, the first and foremost thing is we should have Krishna consciousness. That is a very important principle. And like if there is some strategy that is going wrong, still commodity is there. At least ek to bik jayega, like no, I will do something different, kuch to hatke karna hai. So then what happens? Then we start saying like you can become your own manager, but no, you cannot be my assistant. If you are assistant, then you should like at least you should execute. You should help me in executing my plan, right? So then you are an assistant. So in the same way, like when we are trying to assist the Lord in executing things, so we should also know like way in which the Lord actually functions. So then we can assist the Lord and we can have the feeling of this. So now we see these personalities, they were fully absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord and they are fully tuned to the thoughts of the Lord. So they were able to manage. And most of the things ultimately Lord is going to do. It is like, it is only, we have to, we have to be there in the right place and we have to just keep listening what the Lord wants us to do, and then we have to execute it. So for that requires, for this thing to execute it, so one very important quality is required. What is the quality that is required? Huh? So one important quality is humility. So like opposite of humility is what? I know things. How to want to be a devotee, like the Lord personally, he actually orchestrates things in their life and he makes them, like a sincere devotee, he actually makes them perfected over a period of time. So now, like one time a devotee was asking this question that Prabhuji, like in our temple, there is not much of training that is there, not much of like training that is offered. So then a senior devotee was actually explaining this particular point. You see, whether you go through a training or not go through a training, the Lord will make sure that you go through all the training before you go back to Godhead. Right? So he will give all the practical trainings, right? So, but still, as just to assist the Lord, like we also have to organize trainings and we should try to do things. So then it expedites the process. So, but then the Lord is actually making the training for each and every living entity. So each and every living entity is very dear to the Lord and very close to the heart of the Lord. And Lord likes them very much, and Lord takes care of all the needs of them, right? So only one thing that is like that is very much needed from our part, to get closer to the Lord, is that we have to like follow the etiquettes properly, and then we have to be sincere in the process of Krishna consciousness. So one problem with the Lord is, if I have some other desire, so Lord will say, okay, fine, you fulfill that desire, and then you can come, right? So now our main important role in the whole thing is we have to be sincerely attached to the process of Krishna consciousness. We have to be sincerely attached to the goal of Krishna consciousness. Rest everything can be taken care of. And if you see, like a lot of emphasis is put on being a pure devotee. What is this emphasis all about? So not being subscribing to like karma, jnana and yoga, and then subscribing only to bhakti, and for attaining the Lord and only for pleasing Him and exclusively having this goal. So if somebody has this goal and if he's sincere towards the process of Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will make all the facilities. But the problem is, if I have a different goal, then Krishna will facilitate that also. No, that is the problem. No, our boss is so merciful. No, too much merciful that even if we want to go in a wrong path, he will put the direction sign and he will lay the road over there and he will help us to go in that direction, right? So this is only thing. And in the preaching also, what is the responsibility of a devotee? Understanding, my Lord, He will not force the living entity, right? So now I have to convince the living entity. See, this is goal is this. You have to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. And this is the process. And don't subscribe to other processes. No, what are the other processes? Karma, jnana, and yoga. Lot of advertisement is there about these things. No, like you may say that, okay, these things are not there, but a lot of advertisements are there, no, about this. So where is the advertisement for karma? Huh? Where are the rituals? घर पे भी okay. Satyanarayana Puja is still no good. Narayan is there. And there is so many puja, there is no Narayan. So where is this one of karma? Allurement and advertisement, and then really pushing you towards this one of karma. Huh? In Vedas is there and it's safe. Like nobody reads Vedas. So there is no allurement. ना रहेगा बास ना बजेगा बांसुरी ना वेद नहीं है तो रिचुअल भी नहीं है खाली भगवत गीता है वही डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो रहा है सब जगह पे एंड वही पढ़ेंगे लोग सो वेयर इज द अल्योरमेंट फॉर कर्मा this is a nice thing, like you study well, I'll get you a bicycle. No, so it's like allurement. You do this, you'll get this. And you work well, you'll get higher package. And if you switch the job, you'll get higher package. And then advertisements of companies and things like that is there. And then different, like whole thing is about transaction. You do this and you'll get something better, right? So this one, attaining heavenly planets or attaining better job, attaining better position and things like that, a living entity is never become satisfied. No, mera khana pina to chal raha hai na. Like all that I want to safeguard for my children and everything is planned. Now it is enough. That's it. No, now I have to focus on Krishna consciousness. So this mentality is quite difficult. No, it's always alluring. No, thoda aur kar lenge. No, little bit more, and things like that. So this is one allurement of karma, right? So there are many different allurements of karma is there. So one practical example is this, and allurement of jnana. Huh? No, that is not. Listen, to know more about Krishna is bhakti. That's not knowledge about what? Material things. That is not coming. That is called ajnana. So that is knowing about material things is ajnana. Okay. So jnana. Okay, this is again a little bit of misconceptions about jnana. So jnana means what? Jnana means desire for liberation, and jnana means like to be like what is that? So technical meaning of jnana is to come to the platform of soul, to understand things, like go beyond the platform of matter and to come to the platform of soul. So that is considered to be jnana, right? So highest degree of jnana is execution of bhakti yoga in Krishna consciousness, and the lowest degree of jnana is merging in the existence of Brahman. That's jnana. So the biggest problem of jnana is escaping tendency. I want to escape from this material world and I want to get out of this material world, right? So, and in this in our Sikshashtakam, it is mentioned, na danam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam na jagadisha kamaye, and mama janmani janmanishware. So this is the antidote to jnana. So jnana means what? Like the contamination of jnana is, I want to get out of this problem. And bhakti, what it says, no, let me be there in this problem, but I should not lose my bhakti. No, oh Lord, you solve this problem or you don't solve this problem, it doesn't matter. But please preserve my bhakti. No, so that is this one. Like that is where we we have to give up the allurement of jnana. So like allurement of jnana is like you're going through this problem. No, you slacken your devotional service a little bit, no, your problem will be solved. And then we should say, no, no. Like, let the problem be there. I will not give up my devotional service. No, I will not slacken my devotional service. Then we pass the test of no allurement of jnana. Right? So otherwise, we'll fall prey to the allurement of jnana. Right? So like this, no, we have to. This is the major problem. So this is where we have to work upon ourselves, and we have to help the people, help our subordinates to work upon themselves. That these allurements will come, which will try to distract us from Krishna consciousness. And our primary role in the leadership is that we have to keep the goal, right, of attaining Krishna, and we have to help people to keep their goal right, and then we have to help people not to fall prey into the traps of karma, jnana, and yoga, and in the pure path of bhakti. And if they are sincere, then Krishna will offer all sorts of encouragement and all sorts of things. Krishna will personally make sure that they actually progress in Krishna consciousness, right? So this is the primary role that we have. And in this process, today we are going to see one very important, very niche area. We are going to see. So, like in this, I have three different subtopics. That is, creating an environment where, like, experiments can happen, and then allowing things to happen, and allowing even mistakes to happen, and not too much eager to set right things, then and there. And then be absorbed in our own practice of Krishna consciousness, right? And then also another aspect is guarding, providing a kind of a guard so that people don't go beyond the boundary, right? So this may look like a little difficult to maybe put it in the practice. So, but then this culture is very essential. So we will also discuss why we have this particular pattern, towards the end of the discussion. So now, creating an environment where experiments can happen. So this is like, not everything is like hard ruled, hardwired. So it has to happen in this way only. If we have an environment like that, so then people very soon they will become fried up, fried out. So we need to have a system where we need to have an environment where a goal what is need to be achieved, that has to be clarified, and there should be a little bit levels of independence that needs to be given. So in the beginning stages, the independence is little less, and in the later stages, the independence given is little more, right? So now, not trying to control every situation, and the environment should be like permeating with love, care, and learning and service and things like that, right? So this always there is a trade-off, So if we give too much of love and pampering and things like that, people may become they may not learn things properly. And if we become too much controlling, so then people will get fried out. So these two things are there. So generally, a leader should be worried about creating a environment where experiments can happen. People can experiment things, and then people have choices to exercise, and and the goal is actually defined, so they have to go towards the goal, right? And then the second point is allowing things to happen, allowing even mistakes to happen, and not too much eager to jump in and correct the mistake immediately then and there. So I'm speaking about this even sometimes, like I also don't lose patience and try to get involved and try to solve things. And whenever I do this thing, I like spoil some relationships, and I get into some other kind of problems and things like that. So, but then this is very essential. We have to, this idea that I have to ensure that nothing goes wrong, that actually is not a very good idea. So we have to have this, for Krishna's sake, everything should go on well. But then there is another entity involved in this whole thing, is that a devotee is engaged in the whole equation, and he is trying to execute. And if Krishna wants to ensure the external level, what is logistical level, everything should be all right. And then on the next level, the devotee also safely comes back to Godhead. In these two things, Krishna is ready to forego the first thing. If the logistics goes crazy, it is okay. But this guy, he should practice nicely and he should come back. So sometimes, for the sake of the devotee, we may have to compromise the effective execution of certain things, right? So this is also one important aspect. So like the anxiety, what will happen? We are not here to control the future. The future will unfold on its own, and we have to control certain things, but with caution. So, and even sometimes mistakes may happen, so we can allow. It is not that in the environment there is no mistake should happen. So that is like when we have that kind of a this one, we will get into depression and people also will get into depression, no, because mistake is bound to happen, right? So now we have to see like how to reduce the mistake and how to actually enhance the Krishna consciousness, right? So that is a key goal that we need to have. And we need to give a goal, vision, and then stay back from the execution, no? So like to some extent, if we are there in the line manager, then we may have to be there in the execution. So but then if we are not like that, so we, like for example, no, we are trying to get people to this one Siksha levels and things like that. So we'll have to apply the pressure, and at the same time, they should not feel that we are applying the pressure. No, so both the things are necessary. So we cannot say like people may say like, no, Prabhuji, like no, this is not there, that is not there, like environment is not no favorable, no house, this problem is there, that problem is there. Somehow Bhakti Vishal leader has to encourage him and get him on the Siksha level, right? So at some places we will not allow, no, but in the most of the cases, like we'll have to be very, very considerate that mistakes can happen in the environment, and we have to be tolerant, and we have to actually see the living entity crossing over the ocean of material existence. So that is the key thing that is needed. So when we discuss the examples, this becomes more clearer. So and the next aspect is being absorbed in our own practice of Krishna consciousness, right? So this, like, what happens is we know the level of control, like we have to apply this much level of control to a particular devotee, for him to like be safe in Krishna consciousness and advance. But then most of the times the control becomes little overboard. Now, why this thing happens is lack of absorption in Krishna consciousness gives rise to external control. No, so if we are not sufficiently absorbed in Krishna consciousness, then only thing that is there, what else is remaining for me? My position is there, like my position as a leader is there, and my capacity to control my subordinates is there. So that becomes prominent. We try to control the environment too strong. So, but if we have sufficient absorption in Krishna consciousness, okay, something which is like very fulfilling that is there with me. So this I have to do it as a job. I have to do as much as it is required. So, but something that is fulfilling and nourishing to my heart is not there. So then only thing that remains is like this control, and I'll become like too much on the control, right? So that is very essential. So this is a very, very key principle. So working on our own Krishna consciousness and developing our own deep absorption in Krishna consciousness is very essential, right? So our thought process should be how to practice the principles of Krishna consciousness and not how to instruct the principles of Krishna consciousness. Why not to instruct the principles of Krishna consciousness? We have to instruct, right? No, everywhere we have to instruct this one. That is when people will be able to understand, right? Yeah, so this is like in the biblical statement is the preacher can preach throughout the day and he can speak also sometimes. So this one key. Like most of the times the things are taught by the way of action, and then sometimes we may speak also, right? So like the instructions are less spoken, so then it is well taken. The instructions are spoken too much, then the people also will become fried out, right? So and then like most of the times we also are asked this question, Prabhuji, you are speaking this, what are you doing yourself? And then like yes, I'm also not doing this properly. So I have to practice. So more investment is required in the practice, because we are preaching Krishna consciousness, which is a lofty principle. Whereas we ourselves, our thought process, if we analyze, what is going on in the head, we know, right? So what is going on in our own personality, in our own consciousness, we know. So there is a lot of need is there to work upon ourselves, and then we also have to share. So in this way, the leader being humble is very nice. The leader is like, if he says that, yeah, like, this is Krishna consciousness, I'm sincerely trying, you also please try. I am seeing some results, you will also definitely see. And in front of us, like there is, like our spiritual master is there, Srila Prabhupada is there, all the previous acharyas are there, they have all crossed this ocean of material existence, and we can also do it. So this is very nice. If the preacher says, I know it all, you just simply hear from me. Then what happens? Like, that is what happens in the neophyte preachers. First Bhakti Vishal leader, they become, hey, like, you hear exactly, this is how it should be happened. And then after they become little seasoned leaders, yeah, like, no, I'm practicing, no, it's working out, no, you can also try. And that means you become mature leader. so so in this way, like, the humility also develops over a period of time, right? So, and then when we are doing this, when we are letting people free hand to execute and experiment their Krishna consciousness, so one important thing is to, like, draw a boundary. No, see, you have all possible options to do, but only within this boundary, right? So like that. So when we give that, so they will also, it helps a lot in actually developing the maturity in the like in the people, like, or in the Bhakti members, or the devotees who are under our care. So, like, when we give them the freedom to execute, and then, keep them protected within a boundary, and when, like, and keep them orienting them again and again in the goal, so where we are supposed to go and things like that. So if the lack of orientation, what happens, they take that position as all in all. So new people, when they come up, so they don't know, like, they don't have so much of attachment to the holy name, so much of attachment to the Bhagavatam, so much of attachment to Krishna. So then naturally they tend to become attached to the position that is offered. So generally, like, in across the this one, I have heard from other temples and, many other places also. So across this one, like, we find more problems at the level of Bhakti leaders and less problems at the, no, upper level. Because the advance in Krishna consciousness, problem becomes less. No, so, like, it is, problems are directly proportional to the lack of advancement in Krishna consciousness. And more the advancement, lesser the problems, right? So this is this one. So, like, we see that new leaders, when we create, so this is a very challenging situation, and we are expanding. We have to create many leaders, and when we create many leaders, so along with that, the package, the problems also must come. If there is no problems, that means you are only getting, like, pure devotees. Like, very exalted devotees. You are recruiting in the street, like, exalted devotees, and, they are all doing very nicely, and no problem is there. So that is, like, in the material world, it is, next to impossible. It is not possible only. So when we are expanding, so we are inviting problem. So in one sense, we are inviting problem. So we are making, like, so many leaders. So now these things are very essential. Now we have to work on these aspects. What is the key aspect that is required to reduce the problems? Progress in Krishna consciousness. And it takes its own good time, right? So progress in Krishna consciousness. And in the absence of progress in Krishna consciousness, how can we avoid the problems? Yeah, association with devotees who are, like, serious in Krishna consciousness. So for a Bhakti Vriksha member, Bhakti Vriksha leader is more serious in Krishna consciousness. For a leader, his senior devotees are more serious in Krishna consciousness. Like that, we should always take these things, and we should always absorb ourselves in the Shravanam and Kirtanam, study of Srimad Bhagavatam, or study of Srila Prabhupada books, and hearing of, Krishna conscious lectures. So we may not be advanced, but we can be existing in the advanced platform, till the time we are giving the input. It's like the capacitor. If you charge, it will have power. And if you stop the charging, like, the power is going out in terms of preaching, but if charging is not there, capacitor will lose its current. So in the same way, like, if you don't, like, we are advanced only to the extent we are hearing. If we stop hearing, then our advancement will come down, and will create a lot of problem in the community. Right? So the sadhana is good, then we will be able to maintain the decorum in the community. So this is very essential. This is the root principle. So we have to, like, keep orienting devotees in terms of, like, keep the goal in the this one goal in the picture. Somehow or other, we should try to advance in Krishna consciousness. We should try to hear the holy name. We should try to relish the Bhagavatam and things like that. So this is the goal that we need to achieve. And for this, like, no, we should not subscribe to any other processes of karma, jnana, and yoga. And then we should try to always take support, and we should, go in this particular direction. So for this, like, we have to also create a nice environment of, like, an environment where experiments can happen, where mistakes can happen, and things like that. So because the new people or new leaders that they come up, so it is something like, the children, when they grow to the youth, so they don't listen. So it's a general problem. Like, people come and say, like, no, Prabhuji, my son was very nice, very obedient, and now he's not listening. no, to our words. No, he's like speaking back and things like that. So then we asked like, what is the age? Age is like 11 years, 12 years. So, so this is bound to happen. This is bound to happen. No, there is some different chemistry is going on in the system, and when this chemistry is going on, you should not disturb. No, like you should become a friend. No, you should see that like no, oh like no, you want to do that. No, what will happen if you do that? So these things can happen, and what will happen if you do that way? These things can happen. No, he may be telling something rubbish also, but still, oh, it is nice, it is nice. No, try to do this thing. I'm always there with you to support. And then he'll do, and then he'll come back and say, oh, it didn't work. Oh, it didn't work. So then, okay, like no, you can do like this. You can try out like this. So then, what we are doing is we are assisting in developing the maturity of the kid, right? So now, if the parents keeps on saying like not understanding the chemical reaction that's going on in that particular age, if they keep on saying no, you should not do like this is the right thing, you have to do like this, and that guy will say like, okay, fine, father is not able to understand me. No, sometimes he may express also like, no, you're not able to understand me. And still, if you are not able to understand, then over a period of time, he'll say, no, what is the point in going and telling? No, just you tell some lie and you keep doing whatever you want. No, so this same thing we will also see in the maturity of the Krishna conscious leadership. No, when people we give the leadership, then what they will do, first thing that they come is, see, my Bhakti Viksha leader, he did not know how to do. I know how to do nicely. I will come up with some expert idea, and I will execute in a nice way. And then, so he'll come up with that. And the leader, what he should do, the leader on top of him, what he should do, oh yeah, it is very nice idea. No, I also did not thought about this. So please update me like how this idea function. No, please update me. And then after some time, he'll come back and say, Prabhuji, this did not work out. Oh, it did not work out. We should not apply sarcasm over there. If we apply, no, मुझे पता था, हम ऐसे करेंगे, ऐसे निकलेगा result. So it will be faulty. I know it. Now come, I'll tell you what is right. No, still we should not do that. No. So here we are not trying to develop some, what is that? No, here we are trying to train leaders. So we are not trying to develop some followers. No, we are trying to train leaders. Leaders are trained, when they are given independence. No, so we should see that like we should give some independence. No, see now what is other options? No, other things. Till the time that person comes and says, Prabhuji, I want your advice. No, better to reserve our advice. No, so like no, we should not give advice till the time they really need our advice, right? So even then we should give some advice and we should see, okay, now you try out this. No, you try out this and you update me, how it is functioning. And then sometimes they may also come up with some nice ideas which we have not thought about, and that may be very nice also. No, so now this kind of training is what is going to produce leaders. No, like when we say like this is exactly it has to be done, and no, nothing this side and that side. So then we will produce nice followers. No, if people agree to. In Kali Yuga, not many people will agree for that. So if people agree to, then we may create nice followers. But then if you want to create leaders, then we have to trigger their thought process, and we have to make them like naturally the followers of the followers of the superiors and the previous acharyas. So that is very essential. So in this, now we will see certain aspects, one nice pastime in this regard is like the pastime of Samudra Manthan. Why did the pastime of Samudra Manthan happen? What is the root reason for this? To get nectar. Okay, that is one of the reason. Even more remote reason. No, that's okay. Like, what is the reason for which this started? Okay. So Indra wanted his heavenly kingdom back. No, to that extent we will traverse back. So he wanted his heavenly kingdom back, right? So in estimation of karma, jnana, and yoga and bhakti, like where does it stand? It stands on the platform of karma. No, I lost my property and I have to get back my property, right? So that's the whole this one. And then for that they are going to the Lord. And Lord, is he capable? Is he owner of all the property that is there? And if Lord wants that property to come to Indra, no, can the Lord not snatch that property from Bali and give it to Indra? He can. So, but then what does the Lord do? he explains, see, now the situation is very bad. So the demons are in power and you people are weak. No, now you cannot fight. No, now you have to go and make some peace treaty. No, you have to make some peace treaty. And you say that, like, Vishnu has given you a plan that, we can take out nectar from the ocean. And for that, this is the procedure, and we have to do this. And if we drink this nectar, we'll all become immortal. No, there also some carrot is there. We'll we'll get nectar and we'll become immortal, and you'll get your property also. No, don't worry. So, and then they try to do this whole exercise, and see, and when they're trying to do this, first thing is that, so many details are there, like how Bali Maharaj was convinced, and like how Bali Maharaj is also a great devotee. He also agreed to the proposal. So it's quite difficult, a demon agreeing to the proposal of Indra. So, and then he agreed to the proposal, and the proposal, first item in the proposal is, we should actually bring the Mandara mountain, and to the ocean. And when they uproot the Mandara mountain, so like half the way they do, and then they get crushed. So when the Lord comes, and then he revives them back, and then he helps them to uproot, and then carrying again the problem. So then the Lord comes and he puts the this one mountain on the back of Garuda and effortlessly carries. And somebody was looking at, अरे like इतना आसानी से कर सकता है तो आप ही कर लेते हैं ना. So you yourself could have done this. Why did you put us in the job and we got crushed in the whole thing? So then after that, they go and put the Mandara mountain in the ocean. So then, like, the mountain starts sinking. There is no base, for that. Then the Lord comes as tortoise, and then he offers himself as a base. And then while churning, the mountain is like going this side and that side. It may fall apart anytime, right? So then the Lord comes as Ajita and sits on the top, ensure the balance of the this one. The central balance is required. If you want to do some like pulley kind of this one, so there should be some central anchor. That is when it can roll. This, so that was not there. The Lord came and sat, and he made the central force, so that the churning can happen. After that, the churning was happening. Both the sides were tired. So then the Lord sent refreshment. He sent some rains and cool breeze and things like that. And after so much of churning, after some time, the Lord saw no, nothing is coming. So then Lord came down, and in some of the ancient pictures, in some of the temples and all, we see that the Lord is holding both the sides and he is churning. This side is demigods are there, that side demons are there, and he himself is churning. That is when results start coming. So now in this whole exercise, we see that the Lord is he's so patient. So many mistakes are done by both the parties. He's so patient. He's not telling, hey, no, hum karte hain. No, it's not like that. He is still, even when he is involved, he makes sure everybody is involved very nicely. So that is a very nice aspect of this whole pastime. Like the Lord actually creates an environment, for learning, and he allows the mistakes to happen, and then he guides both the parties to advance in Krishna consciousness, both demigods and the demons to advance in Krishna consciousness.